Now, last time we made our character over here, our NPC, where we can actually shoot him. Okay, you see the animations we're playing, and when he's dying, he's turning into a ragdoll, a groovy ragdoll for that matter. Okay, we're going to kind of eliminate the ragdolls entirely because the amount of characters and enemies we are going to have, yeah, it's not really optimized for that many characters. Like, for example, think of Payday. You get so many enemies that, yeah, it's going to be crazy to have all of them. Or at least we can just disable it entirely after a few seconds. But for right now, we're going to ignore having a ragdoll entirely, and we do that from the state manager. And it should be, let's search for enable ragdoll. Okay, after delay, simply make this, comment this out, and yeah, let's just leave it. Actually, instead of, yeah, okay, let's leave it like this. Okay, this will do for now. Hit play. And yeah, we actually didn't need to hit play again, but you can see that, okay, it just stays on the dead animation. We can still move him around because we still have our ragdoll, we still have our colliders and all that. So we're also going to cut this and paste this in here. We should be doing a few more things as well, and we should, after a point, just disable the animator as well, because it will take memory, so it does need some processing if the animator is still enabled. So you know what, let's just say, let's bring this above again, let's cut this from here, and let's comment this out, take this, add it in here, we don't need this anymore. And over here, let's just say, I think 2 seconds should be enough, so any animations we have above, it's going to play. And after that, you know what you can also do? You can say, get the active model, the transform.parent, set it to null, and destroy this .game object. So you're not even running any other scripts. The only thing that we are going to change later is that instead of just unparenting it, we're also going to be adding it into either an object pooler or just a game object, that a manager that's going to have every reference we have for NPCs. Okay, so we can either cycle them or just destroy them and stuff like that. Okay, so for now this will work. The other thing I want to cover is that we do init this from our AI manager, which is this guy over here. Okay, but we don't get any weapons yet. And that is because when we go to init the weapon manager, when we say create a runtime weapon, okay, if there is no instance down here, if there is no ID, then that means, you know, it's just simply going to return. So let's try having our NPC in here, and let's say, well, not the outfit ID. Let's go on the weapon manager and let's add something over here. Let's check our weapons first to make sure we have a correct ID. Scriptables, you know what? I don't like the name Scriptables, so I'm just going to rename this to data, the entire thing. Okay, because this is our data and our assets. So we have the M4. Let's add the M4 then. Let's see if this is actually going to instantiated. Well, it did, but it kinda did a little bit bigger. Okay, let's check what errors we have. And the error we get from here comes from character get bone. So we basically need to assign the stuff we have over here. It's either that or we need to assign the animator. Let's see. This. We do have the animator though. So, that's interesting. Get bone. Yeah, I think this. Oh no. That's going to be the hostile bone. Let's see where this is coming from. A hook, okay. That's probably it. Let's switch this around. Let's see what we're doing although in here. Scusi. So, okay, we'll add the character. Yeah, I think I'm going to guess that it might have been this that give us an error. We'll see. Otherwise, we're going to start debugging this thing. Although it could be that we kinda need to populate this stuff as well. Most likely, it's that. Yeah. And as you can see, we also get a wrong. Damn it. Yeah, I think we're going to have one more problem. So, okay, let's start debugging this and see where this gets. So how do we debug this? Well, we first need to check if character is null. And then we need to check if rw dot. Yeah, actually only the character can be null over here. And maybe we screwed something. Yeah, we're not doing it, the character. Damn it. So let's bring this back over here, and say assign the character above. And we can add it, of course, right in the script as well. Actually, we can, but yeah, that might mess with this. Anyway, let's add it and we'll see. Save that, minimize. Let's try it once again. I think we should be fine. Okay, now we get the weapon. Of course, we get and everything is working perfectly. But now, of course, we have an error with the mask. Let's see what we can over here, what we have over here, and basically we can say if M is null, you know, return. There's nothing to do over here. This character does not have a mask. Okay, so there's that. Let's go on the state manager again and remove the debug logs we've added. This one. Okay, so what we accomplished with this is that we now have a weapon onto the enemy. Okay, as you can see, His hands are kind of doing whatever though. Let's find him. When we are damaging him, this can stay on the over idol, but I want to change this, and I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to say override body, and drag and drop this right over here. This layer is going to have weight at 1 and 4. Let's just leave it like this without a mask. Okay, so we're basically going to be overriding this base layer. And yeah, maybe overriding this. Okay, let's create a new mask then. Let's find the animator controller. Let's create a new mask. Avatar mask. Let's call this body. And all I want over here is head and the body. One more thing, if you want to create custom mask, you can import the avatar in here and it will give you all the transformations, and you can use the avatar mask from there. So what copies and what it doesn't. Just a small tip. Okay, so put this to body, create state, empty, and override all. We're going to take this, copy them, and paste them down here. Delete this, override all, damage 1, damage 2. Okay, let me change my weapon now, manager, into, yeah, I think we need to change the player profile, or player references. No. Oh, well, anyway. Player reference, no. Oh, yeah, game settings. Game settings. Current main weapon. I'm just going to change to something more precise. Shotgun. Okay, so now when I shoot him, you can see that the animations play, and they play normally. They don't jump around with the hands. Okay, and of course the death animation, we should also be disabling the IK, which in theory, let's see what we have on his NPC. He's destroyed. You have this, yeah. Okay, so the reason the hand still stays there is because when we close the animator, okay, it should be like this. We had the IK open, and when we're closing the animator means the transfers don't update anymore, so that way you are getting here. Now let's say on the state manager, and let's see, play death, we're going to say a hook dot enabled equals false. So it's also going to disable the animator hook. Okay, so this might seem simple, but when we are hitting the player, we're going to be using the same way we did the animation. Okay, as you can see over here. Yeah, I guess that spree was too much. Now you have your normal animation. You can of course make the weapon fall down or do something else. It's entirely up to you. So, okay, with that we now have a little bit more better looking animations without really doing too much. We just added a new layer. Override all can stay for the deaths we have over here. Okay, these are normal. And if we have other interactions, we can make them go back into there. Okay, both arms, right arm, all this can stay the same, and the override body will work more. So if you have more damage animations, feel free to add them in here, and they will make him react accordingly. Now let's go and work a little bit more with our weapons. For example, let's open our weapon script, and what we can add in here is we can add their own. Actually, let's do this on the weapon hook instead of the weapon. So let's open the weapon hook, and at some point we're going to add audio. So why not add it now? Let's say we're going to need an audio source, so on init we're going to say audio source, or audio source, yeah, like this. We're going to do the same like this. If audio source is null, actually it's always going to be null, so ignore that. Get component in children, just in case we forgot to add it on the same level. Oh, we actually don't need to have it on the same level. Okay. However, because we're going to be adding an audio source, we're going to need to also include the mixer, because you're probably going to want to handle all your sources, okay, from the same mixer. One way to do this will be to have already on the prefab. The other way to do this will be to load it using resources.load. Close all this then. I do have some audio, I think, yeah, some of the stuff I was using on the other third person shooters I did, the other tutorials I mean. Anyway, let's go over here, let's create a new folder, let's call this audio, and we're going to create a few scripts. For example, we're going to create an audio holder, which is going to be a scriptable object, and it's going to have 2 or 3 things depending. Okay, turn this into a scriptable object, and over here create asset menu, and let's say create asset menu. Yeah, let's say menu name, let's just call it audio holder. So in here we're not going to add an ID, we're always going to just be using the same, yeah, we're going to be using the name of the scriptable object for ID. So yeah, more or less things to write. So what we're going to be using though, we're going to be using an array audio clip, and we're going to be saying clips. We're also going to, we can use float mean pitch, max pitch. Max pitch is probably, let's set all of this by default at 1, and we'll see, you'll see how we can utilize this. Okay, and since we're also here, we can just say public get public audio clip, get clip. Okay, and we're just going to take one at random. So dot length, random dot range 0 and clips dot length. Okay, if actually we don't need the if. Oh, come on. Then we're going to do a return clips run. Okay, similarly we're going to get a public float get pitch return random dot range between minimum pitch maximum pitch. Okay, and we're going to have that as well. So adding that now into the weapon, into the weapon hook, not the weapon. Let's see, weapon hook. Okay, you probably correctly guessed that we're going to add the audio clip down here to play the audio. So I'm going to say public. Actually, you know what? Instead of adding it on the weapon hook, yeah, okay, let's ignore the weapon hook and let's add it right on the weapon. So over here we have our stats. Let's create a new class in here. Audio, and yeah, let's not call it just audio. Let's call it audio. Yeah, I'm going to put W in front. Audio holder. We need to serialize this to be able to add stuff in here, and we're just going to do an audio holder. For example, we want to have firing, and then we have to do stuff for the Foley. So for example, reload, maybe you have a different sprint. When you're sprinting it plays different sound, stuff like that. Okay, I'm just going to use these two, and I think I don't even have a reload sound effect, so yeah, let's leave it like this. And let's add it over here. W audio holder, let's call this audio, and down here. So on the state manager now, when we are actually shooting, let's collapse everything and let's find our shoot weapon. Okay, so now we should, let's go to the runtime weapon then, and let's write it in here. So if w actual dot weapon dot audio dot firing is not null, okay, we're going to do something. If w actual, yeah, actually let's leave it like this, and now I want to go onto the weapon hook, and I'm going to say public void play audio. Okay, I'm going to be passing the audio holder A, and then on my audio source dot clip is going to be a dot get clip. But first audio, actually no, we want to say audio source dot play one shot a dot get clip. And you can also do first audio source dot pitch equals a dot get pitch. So not all shots are going to be sounding the same because they're going to have a different pitch. Okay, then the play audio is going to come from the runtime weapon. Let's see, over here. So this will be weapon hook dot play w hook dot play audio, w actual dot audio dot firing. Okay, pretty straightforward. Copy this, and I think we do have a reload somewhere. Let's find it. Reload. We do all of this in here. Okay, let's add it in here then. Unincrease fade. No, this might probably need to change in the future. Anyway, let's add it like this then. So if c.wActual.reload c.weaponhook c.wActual and then reload. Okay, pretty clear. So let's see. Let's find the M4 or the let's find the M4. The sound's not really going to work exactly. Yeah, they're not really going to hit the same. Let's actually let me lower the volume. Okay, I don't know if you can hear it, but trust me, it plays. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to use this one. Let's lock this. Let's see, M4, add the rifle, go to the audio, firing, and yeah, we kind of forgot one thing. We actually need to go and create a new folder. Let's call this audio holders, and in here, create a new audio holder, and let's call this M4 firing. So, clips, let's add 2 of these. We don't need to have 2, but you know, just to showcase that you don't need to only have 1 of this, let's add the MP5. And let's say that minimum pitch can be from anywhere to 0.8 to 1. Okay, then on the M4, I'm going to go and say M4 firing. You don't hear anything because we kind of forgot to add the audio source. You know what? Let's go on the weapon hook and add it by script and not add it ourselves. So game object, go new game object, go.name equals audio holder, go.transform.parent is going to be this.transform, go.add component, audio source, add component, audio source, and audio source now is going to be the return of add component. Okay, minimize that. However, we do need to kind of do one more thing. Audio source dot special blend makes the sound full 2D, so we need to set this to 1, so we have 3D sound. We also need to add the mixer, but we need first to create the mixer. Anyway, so let's leave that out there. Yeah, I think the pitch won't exactly work. Yeah, the pitch doesn't play with the one shot we are doing. Okay, play one shot basically lets you play multiple clips together without having to Let's see what else can we pass though. Yeah, it has a different volume. Anyway, so yeah, the pitch won't work for this because we're using play one shot, and we're using play one shot because when you're best firing, it's just going to keep playing the sound and keep playing the sound and keep playing the sound. Okay, so ignore the pitch for now. Let's try it again. And probably the MP5 wasn't the best sound to have. I'm going to try and bring it back again. Actually, hold on a second. So ignore what I just said about the pitch. The pitch actually works fine with this. Okay, and now we have also sound. Awesome. So you know what, let's finish this over here. I know it's just 30 minutes, but the other subjects don't really have a lot of things to do with what we're doing at the moment. So let's finish this over here. As always, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and if you like to see more, if you like for me to be able to keep making more, then consider supporting me either via Gumroad or via Patreon. Of course, with Patreon you're also going to get access to the site where you find the entire course. You can watch it earlier than when it goes live on YouTube. By the way, it goes, if you haven't noticed, it goes live every Sunday. Okay, so I make a new part public to the general public, not just patrons, every Sunday. Okay, but if you like to see the stuff as soon as they come out, then consider supporting me on Patreon so that, you know, we can keep making all this cool stuff, scaling them up and making all these nice things. As always, I'll see you next time.